Here's a summary of all of the executive orders President Trump signed or plans to sign today. Heads up, this is a lengthy video. I'm pulling all of these directly from the White House website. The first, putting America first in international environmental agreements. This is the one that pulled out of the Paris Climate Treaty. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations shall immediately submit formal written notification of the United States withdrawal from the Paris Agreement under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The United States will consider its withdrawal from the agreement and any attendant obligations to be effective immediately upon this provision of notification. Also, the U.S. International Climate Finance Plan is revoked and rescinded immediately. It also states that the Secretary of State, Secretary of Commerce, and the head of any department or agency that plans or coordinates international energy agreements shall henceforth prioritize economic efficiency, the promotion of American prosperity, consumer choice, and fiscal restraint in all foreign engagements that concern energy policy. The next one, delivering emergency price relief for American families and defeating the cost of living crisis. I hereby order the heads of all executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief consistent with applicable law to the American people and increase the prosperity of the American worker. It shall include pursuing appropriate actions to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply, eliminate unnecessary administrative expenses and rent-seeking practices that increase healthcare costs, eliminate counterproductive requirements that raise the cost of home appliances, create employment opportunities for American workers, including drawing discouraged workers into labor force, and eliminate harmful, coercive climate policies that increase the cost of food and fuel. Here's the next presidential action, the hiring freeze. I hereby order a freeze on the hiring of federal civilian employees to be applied throughout the executive branch. As part of this freeze, no federal civilian position that is vacant at noon on January 20th may be filled, and no new position may be created except as otherwise provided for this memorandum or other applicable law. This order does not apply to military personnel of the armed forces or to positions related to immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety. Moreover, nothing in this memorandum shall adversely impact the provision of Social Security, Medicare, or veterans benefits. Now this here is where Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency comes in. Consultation with the Director of OMP and the Administrator of the United States Department of Government Efficiency Service shall submit a plan to reduce the size of the federal government's workforce through efficiency improvements and attrition. Next executive order, regulatory freeze pending review. Hereby order all executive departments and agencies to take the following steps. Do not propose or issue any rule in any manner until a department or agency head appointed or designated by the President after noon on January 20th reviews and approves the rule. It also states to withdraw any rules that have not yet been published by the Federal Register. Next is return to in-person work for all heads of departments and agencies in the executive branch of the government. The next executive order is titled Ending the Weaponization of the Federal Government. States that the purpose of this was because the American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in a systemic campaign against its perceived political opponents, weaponizing the legal force of numerous federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence community against those perceived political opponents in the form of investigations, prosecutions, civil enforcement actions, and other related actions. Basically, this executive order asks the Attorney General to review all of the actions of all departments and agencies exercising civil or criminal enforcement authority of the United States over the last 4 years. Then prepare this as a report and submit it to the President. Basically, he wants to identify instances where a department or agency's conduct appears to be contrary to the purpose and policies of this order. He basically asks for the same thing from the Director of National Intelligence and all the heads and agencies associated with the intelligence community. The next executive order is titled Restoring Freedom of Speech and Ending Federal Censorship. The policy says to secure the right of the American people to engage in constitutionally protected speech, ensure that no federal government officer, employee, or agent engages or facilitates any conduct that would unconstitutionally abridge the free speech of any American citizen, ensure that no taxpayer resources are used to engage in or facilitate any conduct that would unconstitutionally abridge the free speech of any American citizen, take appropriate action to correct past misconduct by the federal government related to censorship of protected speech. Next executive order, initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. This executive order removes tons of previous executive orders. Honestly, there's so many here. A lot of the big ones have to do with removing executive orders related to DEI as well as climate action. The next executive order is flying the flag of the United States at full - staff on Inauguration Day. Orders the American flag to be flown at full at all government buildings until the end of the day. After Inauguration Day, he orders the flag to be returned to half-staff in recognition of the death of President Jimmy Carter for 30 days from when his death occurred. The next executive order designates chairman and acting chairman. It lists all of the chairs of different government agencies. You can have a look at those yourself. The last three are also just announcements of designations for the cabinets, sub-cabinets, and appointments. You can look through those yourself. That is everything. Let me know in the comments if you made it to the end, and shoot me a follow to stay up to date on this and more.